why that was on. I didn't think I was playing anything. How's everybody doing? Good to see everybody. Hopefully it sounds better this week. How is everybody doing? I think Ryan was here. Ryan started. Good to see you, Ryan. Zeal, good to see you. Jake, good to see you. Shambot, Tad, morning. Yeah, just remember Arizona friends don't change. So now they're in the same as the Pacific time. Dorcas, don't forget to change your clocks this weekend. You get less than an hour. Employee Appreciation Day yesterday. It's the weekend where you lose an hour. Coincidence? Wayne, morning. Tim, morning. Jim, morning. Missed you last week. Hope everything's okay. Jeff, morning. Harrigan tube. Interesting. Harrigan tube. As opposed to Harrigan. I don't know. Blue sky. Mike, morning. Flint, morning. I don't know what that was. Like I had my browser open to this channel, I thought, but I don't know why I was playing anything, honestly. Stefan, good to see you. All right, good to know. This week, open discussion. But one thing I have not done, which I have always thought has been kind of self-indulging sometimes, is an AMA. I figure if you want to ask me anything, I'd open it up. You could tell things are getting slim on the discussion list when I go that route. But my goal is not to only just have it like, spur a topic or an answer that I might have an opinion on or thoughts on, but also spur discussion with you guys, of course. Don't mind me. I'm just gonna light a little candle here for ambiance, if you will. My wife, I don't know if I said anything. This, obviously butane, right? My wife bought one of these, but it's electric. It's USB to charge it, and it's got two prongs. It literally creates an arc. So it's like kind of a little mini shocker, but you use it to light candles. It's pretty cool. So you like hit the button and it's like zzz. You could see it. I have not touched it to myself because it probably will burn me, I'm guessing. And I don't know, maybe shock me, but I think it was pretty cool. As opposed to this thing. There we go. I should be sitting in the chair for this. The chair. With my smoking jacket on, but I hope the sound is all right. Or better. And of course, there's my chat. Not a fan of the opening theme. Oh, that must be the music, I'm guessing. Sounds great. No echo. Fantastic. Yeah, I found out what the issue was ahead of time. RPG Gen Exile, good to see ya. Gabe, morning. AMA, Sean? Unravel Scroll. Oh boy. Oh boy. Is Forbidden Lands your favorite fantasy game? Ooh, that's a tough question. I don't play. I have. Yes, I have. I was gonna say I've never played Forbidden Lands, and of course Harrigan ran a long-standing campaign. Um, I don't know if it's my favorite. It's been a while since we've played. It's been, God, man, a year? Has it been over a year? Um, I don't know if it's my favorite. I just went out with my buddy Jeff. Jeff and I went on a date recently. We went to go catch a comedy show. Um, we didn't get into gaming all that much. We got into Delta Green briefly just because we're running a game and one of the guys is like not into it. He admits it. But Jeff had a conversation with him. I wasn't privy to the conversation. Jeff was relaying the information. But in so doing, we were having a conversation about fantasy and how I was kind of burned out on Tolkien fantasy. He's like, fantasy, what? Come on, Sean. And I said, more Tolkien fantasy. Like if I ran a fantasy game, what would that look like, even for a homebrew? And for those of you that have played in Shadowdark West Marches that I was running for a little while, it was all human. So I'm convinced and bent on the all human type campaign. I mean, I guess I could be swayed to have demi-humans in it. I don't know if Forbidden Lands is my favorite. I don't know. That's a tough one because there's parts of it I enjoy. And I guess it's the type of campaign. I'm kind of in this mix where it's like Eberron is a setting that I appreciate, and it hasn't always been that way. But I got into Eberron a long time ago in 3.5, and Eberron is somewhat, there's goods and bads to it, depending on what time of the day you talk to me. But I wouldn't set things in Eberron to play typical fantasy as much as I would use it as set dressing to run a different campaign. Does that make sense? Like, instead of, it's probably the closest thing to a mashup that I would play other than, like, Delta Green's a mashup, right? It's modern day contemporary with the Cthulhu mythos basis. But it's not always in the face. Where I think in an Eberron fantasy game, I would do something similar where it's set in a world of Eberron, but it would be like an espionage game or something along those lines, where it's like more civilized fantasy, not explore. It could be urban fantasy, if you will, something along those lines. So I'm still, if Jeff said, we're kind of done with Delta Green, Sean, will you run kind of a fantasy game? I honestly don't know what game I would choose to run. I don't know if it would be Shadowdark or something else. When I talked to Jeff, when I mentioned to Jeff, I'm like, dude, no demi-humans. That would turn some players off because they want to build the cool frickin' Dragonborn, Warlock, Necromancer, Paladin, Goliath, half Goliath build or some crap. And I say some crap because, well, I don't know. I guess I'm getting jaded in my old age. But he's like, oh, Hyperborea. And then to which I said, I probably wouldn't run Hyperborea, the game. But I don't know if I would do sword and sandals or sword and sorcery either. What is your favorite band and why is it Gojira? I don't know. Favorite band? Oh, jeez. I probably should have thought about this AMA before I even announced it. Favorite band? Dude, I don't know. There's so many ones out there. And I'm so far behind. I'm stuck in like the 90s, for whatever reason. Um, I go through phases. Favorite band? Oh man, it was the Doors for a long time. I was a big Doors nut. Saw Jim's grave over in Paris when I was there. But it wavers. It wavers. I was a big Foo Fighters fan until I wasn't. I am. I still like them, but I don't know. Dave Grohl is just a great musician, in my opinion. Um, Still like Ozzy and some of the Ozzy catalog and Black Sabbath. I mean, there you go. I guess. Wayne, what do you hate most about D&D? Um, I don't think it's come to my realization over time. I think what I hate about it most, Wayne, is that you could do anything with it. It's the toolbox game. You can play any game. You can implement anything you want into a D&D game. And that's what I hate most about it. Just kidding. Just kidding. For those of you that get that reference, you will appreciate it. I should be wearing my other shirt with the sentence across it for stating that. Hate is such a strong word. What I dislike about D&D, and it depends on, what depends on what edition you're talking about too. I would say that, here's the thing. Like I said, I didn't realize it for a long time, but I think the game is it's to optimize. That's the game. It's to have the best build. If you're gonna buy a cleric, or if you're gonna be a cleric, you gotta be the best cleric. If you're a fighter, you gotta be the best fighter. You gotta be power attack. There's build trees that you choose in order to be the most optimal. And the Ivory Tower article by Monty proves that was in the design. That's what it does. So sometimes when we talk about, man, my players they want to play all these wacky builds, or it just kind of, I don't want that type of game as a game master. But as my home group, fine. But you go somewhere else to get a taste of other games or whatever. I think it's because I have to come to the conclusion where it's like, don't hate the player, hate the game. Because if the game facilitates that, like, what are you going to do? Then it's like this weird thing, like, no, you can't have all these things, or I got to limit the magic, or we're not going to use cantrips. And then it's like, well, then you're taking away from the game that the players are like, ooh, yay, right? The echo's back. Hope not. Gabe, why are you most interested in games set in the modern era, and why is the best Delta Green? Is it the inclusion of the mythos in it? It's funny that you mentioned that, Gabe. I am not a Lovecraft guy. I don't think I've read a single work of his, which is kind of kooky. I grew up, Call of Cthulhu, not even remotely interested in the game. I think it was, there was a part in time. There was a moment in time where I thought where it would be cool to be like the Men in Black. And I think there was something that made that happen. And I don't even know if I knew Delta Green very well, knowing that, right? Like, this epiphany or kind of thinking of mine had come after Delta Green was out. And I say Delta Green as in Pagan Publishing for Call of Cthulhu. So it had existed, but I didn't know what Delta Green was. And then it wasn't until, like, I don't know if it was Brett and I talking about it on the show. Like, I was a latecomer to Delta Green. And so when I bought the slipcase, I think I was literally with Brett. We went to Noble Knight, and he like picked it up and grabbed it, and he's like, oh, cool. And I think it at this point probably had been out for a year or two. Like, it was kickstarted in 2018. Probably came across it in like prior to 2020, maybe right in between there. And I think the reason I like it is that there's a rooted foundation, right? If we play fantasy, we have to come together on what it is, right? So if you say, well, we're going to run against the Dark Master, and I go, great, I've never played it. What's it about? And you go, well, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, and it's modeled after Rollmaster, blah, 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 blah. And you still have to do that with Delta Green. You have to understand, like, well, it's basic, it's BRP, it's percentage based, it's skill based, but it's contemporary. But in against the Dark Master, I have to go, well, what's the world like? Do I know about? Does my character know about the world? Is it like I'm in a little hovel and anything over the hill is like danger, and so nobody goes over the hill? Like, there's all these things that have to kind of get your head wrapped around. And of course, if you are into Against the Dark Master or Conan or whatever property it is, then you will have a common somewhat base. But even BX will be like, well, what, like, is this exploratory? Is this dungeon delving? Is it a combination of both? Or is it like a mystery and you peel back the layers? Like, what's driving the goblins to keep raiding these towns all the time? Well, we got to go and find out and then rid the evil or whatever. What's the magic system like? Like, do we get a lot of magic items, or is it like really, really rare? When you talk about Delta Green and modern gaming, yes, of course, somebody can say, well, I don't, Sean, you could say the same thing about the mythos and how it is involved in everyday life, to which I would say yes, but it's not known. It's an experience that your agents have had, and it doesn't even have to be the mythos or the myth. To me, like, I don't need to know the mythos to run a Delta Green game. I don't need to know who Yog Sothoth is, or the Chocho. It's just a thing that is completely unknown to the agents because it is something crazy. So you put a moniker on it so you can reference it, which is also something kind of cool because there is a component of, back in the day when we played D&D, we didn't know what a troll was. Well, we might have read it in Lord of the Rings. But the first time you come across the troll and you whop off one of its arms and then it grows back in a couple rounds, you're like, oh man. Like, some of the experiences, Rust Monster, same thing. Black jellies, right? Black jellies, black oozes, whatever, right? Same thing. Drop on your head, suck your face off. Mind flayers, like all of those things, beholders, all those things when we first encounter them are completely like, what in the hell is this? Nowadays, it's like, oh, beholder. Oh, Rust Monster. Oh, don't use metal weapons. Oh, I'm using the Midwestern term. A lot of that is lost. Delta Green has some of that still. It's also grounded in, this is the world, right? I know what time this thing opens. I know it's going to take me somewhat, X amount of time to travel there. So the theme that you won't get in something like Delta Green, which is like quote unquote exploration, right? It's not like I'm going to the new territory. We're going to explore and stake our claim for the king and country and all that. And part of the appeal to some of the fantasy or medieval is to have that hex crawl and explore and discover. In Delta Green, it's peeling back the layers of what's going on, keeping it secret and on the down low so that humanity doesn't like, what, WTF. But you're like these crusaders fighting it under the precursor of like, I need to do this because I know nobody else is going to do it. It's really saving the world. As a matter of fact, I know you got me on a little tangent, which is good. Keeps me talking. But when I met with Jeff this past weekend, there's a gentleman that we have, a player, Jason, that's playing. And Jason, I kind of know he's not into it. I just do. You just know when the player's at the table who's like, And one of the things he had told Jeff was, I want to be heroic. Like, I want to play a heroic game. Like, I want to be the hero. And Jeff's like, but in Delta Green, you are. Like, you're the only ones that are overcoming any of this. But it's a different hero, right? If you want to be paladin, wizard hero in D&D, that hero we define in a particular box. I think when we think about hero in fantasy, knight in shining armor, go and vanquish the darkness, great. hero in Delta Green is like not. It's a thankless job. Nobody knows about it, and so I do appreciate that approach. Plus, it has role playing components to it. Like it's not. That's the one. And it was kind of a gateway from Call of Cthulhu. When I first played the first game of Call of Cthulhu, I'm like, oh, dude, there's more role playing in this. Like it's more defined. Whereas if you had 5 people at a D&D table, not always, just saying, I don't want to lump everybody in one box, but my experience is that if you took everybody's character sheets and shuffled them around amongst the players, you wouldn't tell that they're playing a different character other than, well, I have spells and not a sword. Where in Call of Cthulhu or Delta Green or something more contemporary, it's you kind of have to have that angle about who you are and what you are. I don't know. Does that make sense? Orcus Dorcas use bristle brush or synthetic bristle brush to get the coif so significant. I use a regular metal brush, but for shaving, I use badger hair, right? For the brush. I think is it beaver hair? I don't know what they like. Not the synthetic. Like I got that from. It was like my father-in-law passed away. And my wife gave me his like beard shaving cream brush. Ugh. Tim, what is one thing you cannot stand about the RPG hobby? I think we'd sometimes take it too seriously. I think I don't know. It's weird. One thing I cannot stand about the RPG hobby. Gatekeeping is a big one. Like I don't understand it. And then people define it differently. Like, no, it's not that. That's not gatekeeping. I just don't want them to change my game. But nobody gives a shit about your game. Like, seriously. I don't care how you run your game and who's in it and who you allow in your own game. It's kind of the deal. But that's different than some of the things that I think come with that weird baggage. I also don't like panderers. Like I don't want somebody that's like, you know what, 5e players are all dumb and stupid at everything and they don't know what they're doing and then they post a bunch of memes about 5e players and all the things that they'll poke fun at, and then they'll bring up old school and say this is the real game, this is real D&D, all that stuff. And then what they'll do is they'll make an OSE game or an OSE supplement for OSE, and then they'll make a supplement for 5e players. But they're the same ones bashing 5e players. Like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? What's up, Laramie? All good. Why doesn't Sean just go full sword and sorcery in his fantasy games? Maybe I will. I didn't grow up with swords and sorcery. Like, yes, I've seen Beastmaster and Krull and some of those, and maybe that's what I need to do. I'm not opposed to it. I don't think it's a bad genre. I'm not like well read in the space. FL needs a version 2. I'd agree. Yes. Forbidden Lands is what Harrigan's referring to. Yeah. Where's Brett? Brett is north of me. I know that. He may surprise me and say that he's in south of me today, but right now I would say he's north of me. I know that for sure. Well, with somewhat certainty. Sorry, I don't have a real question. That's fair. Who's your favorite paying patron, and are you willing to lose $10 by answering wrong? You know who you are. Just saying. Or Fabula Ultima. I won't play Fabula Ultima because to me it's anime. Like, no, it's not, Sean. You got to play it. It's just the art. I'm like, well, the art's anime. If it is anime art, and somebody says, but it's not anime, Sean, I would say, well, then why use anime art? Like, it's for me, portraying The art is portraying a tone and feel and all that other good stuff. And if that's it, that's not for me. It's just not my jam. I'm not an anime guy. Would you run Outcast Silver Raiders? Yes, I would run it. I would run it. But it's not it's there are some things at first level, man. It is a tough game. That's Wayne Peacock. And I have run it, to Jim's comment, I have run it once at Game Holcom, but it was not very good and I was not very prepared. Harrigan says might run Conan for the group. Gabe, get some SNS on the menu. He's talking about our Thursday night group. Unless I'm misremembering who ran it at GHC that was me. Yeah. What advice for younger Sean would you have? Don't get out of the hobby. Don't leave the hobby. Like, it's going to be cool. It's like, take a break for maybe a month or two, or, drinking beers and chasing girls is one thing, but you could still do that and play D&D. I don't know. I got out of the hobby for a long time, and there's a big gap. I don't regret it, but that would be, from a gaming perspective, it would be that. For life, oh man, that's a tough one. You don't know everything. But that's for anybody, like, that's younger generation for me. Like, I find my nephew to know everything. Like, he knows. He just knows, right? I think it just comes with an age thing. And you just have to kind of accept it. Reaver pre-orders open. I saw that, by the way. I saw that. Monolith Conan, and I like modern 2D20 mostly. Okay. To the D&D Toolbox, well played. Thank you. And thank you very much, Wayne. Favorite game mechanic in tabletop RPGs? I would say, this might come with some bias, I know, kind of crazy, but I would say the bond mechanic in Delta Green. It's, it eliminates the, you go insane and die. I get it. Nope. You project it onto a bond. You don't lose sanity. You lose sanity, just not as quick. And you lose those bonds. And those bonds, you got to have to incorporate them to kind of make it understandable in the game, where it's like you're becoming a loner slowly but surely because you're busy. You got higher priorities than everything. Which I think is great. And I appreciate that because it goes into the tone of the game, and system matters. So, if you want a game that kind of facilitates something, I appreciate those more and more, where it ties into something that makes sense on what the game is trying to achieve. Not all of them can do that. Cyberpunk Red, I played briefly. To me, it was a futuristic game that had a epic but ton of skills. If you took the exact character sheet and put it into a different game, you wouldn't even know it was different Cyberpunk, or it was Cyberpunk Red. Right? Does that make sense? Like, if I want to play a Cyberpunk game, I would hope that there would be something that would make it feel like Cyberpunk, other than, well, it's Corpse and they run the world. Human only DCC would be super easy. DCC is an interesting game. I don't know if I would run it long term. Just like many people love running the funnels at cons, and very rarely they do, but very rarely do you play like a 4th level DCC game. The optimizing character builds is one of the things that turned me off from D&D during the 3A era. Not a shock. I still think, like, I wouldn't mind throwing Pathfinder down on the table and going, hey, go nuts. Get out your little app, find out how many pluses you can get to hit and how badass you are, and run with it. Beer and pretzels all day long. And that's another thing too, is I don't know if I would run serious business fantasy. Like I'd probably be like, that's why I'm like, well, maybe it'd be Shadowdark, only because we could sit down. If nobody hears my room description at the table, I'm not going to get mad or upset or pissed off. Like, you guys aren't paying attention. Who cares? Like, I don't give a shit. Oh, you just wallop this monster for 50 points of damage. Bonus. Great. Yay. Who cares? What is your favorite or guilty pleasure B movie? Oh, B movie. Probably this is Spinal Tap. Maybe. I think. B movies. I'm like, what kind of B movies would I watch? Yeah, maybe that one. Yeah, I think that one's one of the top. Dropkick Murphys, was it, Laramie? Harrigan, Down and Dirty DCC exists, Laramie, standard by Nick Baran, Lankmar. I do have Lankmar. Maybe that's the option. I don't know. There's also an unfamiliarity with me with that. Of all the books on your newly erected bookshelf, he said erected, which one have you read most recently? That is a very good question. I opened Gentleman's Agreement, which is a spycraft paperback, like, I don't know if it's like 96 pages. It's pretty thin, but it has like 4 serials in it. So a serial in spycraft is scenario. I started reading it. So yeah. Also, so on, check out Shadowdark Hyperborean Adventures. I will have to check that out. Okay, interesting. Yeah, now Shadowdark's got all kinds of hacks and stuff, right? There are 2 ways to play D&D. Play an optimized build or play badly. Yeah, I created a fighter one time in a dock campaign and didn't have power attack. You thought that I, like, took the sacrament and just brushed it off the altar. He's like, what? I don't even understand. Why, what? We're playing with a fighter who can't even fight? Like, how dumb. He wasn't that bad, but it was. And then every combat, it was like, well, if you had taken a fighter and taken power attack, duh. Sean's dislike of D&D. So he's good with pre-3E. I don't know, man. I don't even know if I'm sold on BX. What was the last non-game book you read for pleasure? Does listening to an audiobook count? Some people will be like, "Dude, that's not reading. That's listening." If it was an audiobook in full, it would be, I can tell you. And you guys are gonna be like, huh? That is not the audio app. It would be, I think I mentioned on Go Big Podcast, honestly. Dude, just where? The Right Kind of Crazy by Clint Emerson. So a SEAL team member. I started reading Man's Search for Meaning, or listening to it. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. It's pretty known. I have never read it or heard it. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I don't even know the answer to that. African or Dungeon Baboon? Yeah, that's a problem. No D&D and BX. Wayne, D&D hate. What I react negatively about is the TTRPG monoculture. Picky eaters, sparring allergies. Also annoys the shit out of me. Tim says to reading it. Also, if some people optimize and other players don't, you also won't have a good time unless you enjoy being frustrated. Yeah, it's a weird balance. What is it that killed your drive to run Cold Shadows? I actually started running it with Harrigan, Kevin, Wayne, and Phil McClory, and it was hard to get around how things were to roll. I still want to try to see if I could get it to a table, but it's very much like I could not imagine 4 players that have never GM'd playing that game because it is very much narrative. It is, you don't roll to succeed, you roll to determine who has the narrative and they can create the scene. So there is a component of like Deathmatch Island or the Paragon system that's kind of like that. And if you get the wrong player at the table that doesn't understand that, it is not D&D. It is not a GM conveys the information, the player reacts to it. It is very much you get to determine what happens. Like the whole scene up until that point. So that's, I'm going to see. I don't know. I'd really like to know more about Spione. Ron Edwards' Cold War espionage game. Tim, I don't know if you've run it. I know Tim knows it, but I am interested to see. Like I said, we've mentioned this before. I find like there are some games that are out there that are very big passion projects. And you can get that from reading the game. And I don't know if that's Ron's game. In other words, am I going to be reading a textbook on Cold War, or is it good background information that propels the game? Because like Operators, Harrigan and I talked it on, just briefly mentioned it on Go Bag. Operators, the game, is very much, not very much, but there is you could tell that the author is like huge covert action, black ops. Like he's going through all the operations the U.S. has ever done and what it's about and what year and what the results were and all that. It's great, but like the game's got to kind of bubble up as well. A friend of mine is putting together a Starfinder second edition game, and because of the character optimization issue, I have little interest in playing. Yeah, Jeff even said like, he's like, well, what about Castles and Crusades? Because we're playing Castles and Crusades, kind of. We haven't played in a long time. My buddy Joe is running it. It would not have been my first choice of a game. And Jeff's like completely perplexed. He's like, I don't understand. I'm like, it's too close to 3E for me. And now I know Laramie is a big fan, but it's just, I don't know, man. It's, yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't mind like playing something like Orbital Blues, something like that, science fiction that's like a little unique and that it's got a few different levers to move just to see what it's like. Blade 68 calls to me, but I haven't run Blades in the Dark games or Forged in the Dark games. I've got 2. I got Band of Blades and Scum and Villainy, but I don't know if I'd like them. They may be just like, oh, there's kind of fiddly bits, and I don't know if I want to deal with fiddly bits anymore. I asked that also, but it is paid patron answer only. Dorcas. Sean did run OSR at GHC, yes. He used to like that game before I ruined it for him. I think there's awesome components in that game. Like there's a video on this channel that talks about like having an heir. Like that's great. It's fantastic. Like that one piece to me is like, oh, that's nice job, dude. Because then you pay for a hireling, you can name them as your heir, and then there's an experience point. So when you're like in Treasure, so when your character dies, you create a new character that is the heir that's been really journeying with you this whole time. But you have to have a little break in verisimilitude and saying, well, this is how I portray him, but now I'm making my character, so I'm just going to change it, right? So you kind of have to roll with that, but how it mechanically works with like, well, where do I start out with experience points since the party's like 5th level? Do I have to start at 1? House rule, boom, half, right? Like you don't have to house rule. It's there. This is how it works. So what a miserablest. Sean just needs to avoid vanilla junk kitchen sink fantasy. There are countless ways to do so. Fair. And I don't think this is any secret. A lot of you guys have mentioned like, oh, so Sean hates this, and it's, you just got to get out of this space, Sean. You'll be fine. Yeah, that's true. If I were to run a fantasy game tomorrow, I don't even know what it would be. Like what? I don't know what the game would be. I don't know what the pretense would be. Like, would it be urban? I mean, I mentioned Eberron a little bit, but would it be hexcrawl? Would it be, yeah, I don't know. Orcus Stories. The other thing about Delta Green over COC is most of their mythos intrusions tend to be unique, whereas COC tends to lean a lot on repetitive Lovecraft standards. I'd agree. And the thing is that it doesn't matter. That's what also I like. Like in Call of Cthulhu, there may be people that actually like are mythos people, Cthulhu or Lovecraft fans, and they've read all of the books and they appreciate the horror. I'm not a horror guy. Like, I don't even like, my wife's like, I'm going to watch a horror movie. I'm like, knock yourself out. Like, I have no interest in horror. But it's funny because I'll run Delta Green. But to me, it's the holy shit kind of thing, right? Like the unsettling component of it. It's not, it's more suspense and drama to me than it is horror. Though it can be horrific. If that makes any sense. And the thing is when I run the game, it doesn't matter. Like they just see this thing. They don't have to have any type of like, I don't understand what this is. Help me understand what it is. That's the thing. You won't know what it is. It's like crazy. Badger hair. That's what it is. Thank you, Mike. Badger hair is the desired knot for shaving brushes. Yes. Badger. Thank you. Beaver hair. Badger hair. Yes. Question. Should people hit that like button? Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Eileen, morning. Oh, and I don't have the topic up. I guess I could put that up there in case people come late. Do you have a scenario screaming to get out and possibly put out on drive-through or other community content site? I do. In my brain, I want to write the Cold War scenario, which I will blatantly rip off from Chad Parrish and list him as inspiration. And I'm not copying it verbatim because he ran it at a GaryCon like 10 years ago or 7 years ago. But I would use some of the components that he did in what that would be like. But I don't know what system I would do it. I don't know if I could probably do it in like Tiny 86. I could do it in Agent Provocateur. It's just different stat blocks. But to gain the what is going on at the table spirit of Cold War, I mean, I don't think a person in the entire party is going to own a gun. That's the game I'm interested in playing and how it kind of like unpeels itself back. That's one I would say. I haven't put much thought into Delta Green. I would still like to run write a shotgun scenario if I was able to do it. I think there's some fantastic ones out there. Sometimes I think my creative brain is just not ticking as much as it needs to be. It's not even imposter syndrome. It's just I don't think I could come up with something that would be creative enough that it would be very interesting. Sean, how many likes and subscribes do you like have your videos around? More. You know my favorite number of likes and subscribes is? More. Who is your favorite and least favorite interviewee from the podcast days? Favorite interviewee? Man, I don't know. There was a few. I think Aloya Lasanta was good, but his audio sucked. I liked talking to Jen Brinkman about DCC, Ron Blessing, and Christian Serrano when we did Savage Worlds. Like some of those were pretty top notch. Who else? I mean, we interviewed Ed Greenwood. Ed's a talker. He's interesting. He's the Forgotten Realms guy. He gets a little bit of a press, right? Um, because of that piece and component. I haven't did not a ton of interviews. I'm thinking those are ones that stand out. I'm trying to think of who all else. Like, am I missing somebody that really was interesting? And then there were some recorded panels at GameholeCon, which I don't think you're lumping that into. Um, yeah, and they're just regular people. Ben Robbins was fun. I haven't released it, but Ben Robbins for the West Marches was cool. Like talking to him. Stu Horvath was fun with the West Marches, I think, too. Yeah. I also like talking to the group that I play with every Thursday. It was Phil, Harrigan, and Wayne about Vason. So the video that's on this channel I thought was a really good, like, dude, if that, like, uh, free league, I don't know, if they want like a pitch deck for people that want to play Vason and want to know more about it, I think that one's top notch. Would you run a Spinal Tap RPG? Hell yes, I would. Hell yes, I would. I do like some of the weird off the wall one shots. That's what I would like to run, like at GameholeCon one of these days. Like, you're in a rock band, you're washed up, and some of the things that would come out of it. Yes, I would definitely do that for sure. Would you run a Spinal Tap RPG? I would certainly try. I just don't know how I would pull that off. What hot take do you have about the hobby? Oof. Everything's D&D. Everything's D&D. D&D. D&D is every fantasy RPG is D&D. There is my hot take. It's just insert publishers D&D, right? That's what I'm gonna go with. Colville's D&D. Oh, that must be Draw Steel, right? Draw Steel. Oh, that's Colville's D&D. What's DCC? Oh, that's Goodman Games' D&D. Right? There you go. This is Spinal Tap, not a B movie. Right. It's not a B movie? Okay. Sure, maybe. Okay, maybe it's not a B movie. Um, so I have to come up with a second one, or a first one, I should say. B movie. Oh man, I don't know. Uh, so I married an axe murderer. That's not a B movie either. Uh, I need a list of B movies I've ever watched. Younger Sean, do the drinking beers with the ladies while gaming. Yes, indeed. It's all right, Mike. I'm hoping you turned out all right. I don't mind characters in D&D that aren't optimized as long as they aren't rinse wind rinse wind level incompetence. Yeah, I don't know. I agree, but it's a different game. I never left the hobby, been here since 1979, and some things never change. Fair. Gaming never slowed my dating game. Wayne's got play. Laramie, note to self, Sean wants me to run 4th level DCC for him at Gamehole. That would be cool. Sure. In my limited little world growing up, girls in D&D were mutually exclusive. This was pre-vampire. Sad. Yeah. Jim, I played AD&D 2E with girls. You lucky man. Small school, I knew all the nerds. Yeah. I don't think there was well, some would say, well, there were girls that were interested. They just weren't welcome, like some would say, right? I'm just saying where I might have grown up, but I didn't know him. I wish they would have said, "Hey, can we play?" We're like, "Sure." Oh yeah. Well, I played a lot of Vampire LARP, many women in that for sure. Cold Shadows is a deeply flawed game, well beyond the narrative control. Ugh, yeah, not for me. Noted. Yeah, Cold Shadows did not explain the game loop at all. Off to the gulag. Tim, I played it several times, including with Ron, and ran it once. He's talking about Spione. Spione. Highly recommend if you're not into anything espionage or spycraft or Cold War for gaming. If you're into anything espionage. Got it. Yeah. Need to give Cold City a go. That is true. That falls off my radar, so that's a good reminder. Thanks, Dorcas. Yeah, thanks, Scott. I appreciate it. I need to get that one at the table for sure. Operators also does a terrible job explaining itself as a game. You could do better. Yes. I agree. It's 3E adjacent. He's talking about Troll Lord Games, Castles and Crusades. I feel you. To me, it rips off 3E parts I don't like, notably feats and skills. It does. Agreed. Yes. It's the Gary Gygax 3E, right? That's what even Jeff said. He's like, my understanding is that if Gary were around and he had created the third edition, that would have been Castles and Crusades. And that's fine, but that doesn't. So Jeff thinks that's like a credit. That's like, what is that? That's cred. And I'm like, that doesn't matter to me. I don't eat at the house of Gygax. What? I know, crazy, right? You also need to try Blades in the Dark. You won't know if you'd like it unless you do. I've played it twice. Kevin ran it for us. Scum and Villainy, one shot. Craig Shipman? No, Eric Frankhouse. Who ran it? I can't remember. It was like me and Brett, Frankhouse, Craig Shipman, maybe? Like everybody thought like Brett, like, oh, Streets of Avalon, you're gonna love Blades in the Dark. He didn't. So yes, of course. I also think with Blades of the Dark, what I also have a hang up with Blades, so I have some like people could be like, they could get probably perturbed and irked because one of the things about Blades in the Dark is like, okay, it's Blades in the Dark, it's Duskfall, it's urban, and it's like very much, it's like, hey, take leverage and put it in a Victorian era setting. That's my interpretation. Okay. That's why like Blade 68 might fit better because it does have some things that are like, well, you can play heisty games or if it's like around a heist and you can flashback, I don't know. I don't see Penny Dreadful the heist. It's okay. Like it's me. It's not anybody else. Which is also weird with Band of Blades because it's like Band of Blades is forged in the dark, but you're running away from the front. Ugh, I don't know. Blades in the Dark introduced me to the flashback mechanic. Shadowrun Anarchy uses flashbacks now. Anyone read Deep Cuts or Blades in the Dark yet? And that's the thing. Like Laramie gets it. Gabe says, but going to Blades in the Dark, like what I would place, like I think Fraser Simons, whose I think sibling did Operators. But Fraser Simons, he's done a couple Cyberpunk games, and one of them's Forged in the Dark. And I bet, like, oh, wouldn't that make complete sense? Like, no, John Harper, great designer, he's obviously gotten some popularity with Forged in the Dark and Blades in the Dark. I don't want to take anything away from him by any means. And I'm just like, he could watch this and be like, he's just some loudmouth YouTuber, which is true. But, yeah, dude, his first game should have been Cyberpunk. Like, part of me is like, Cyberpunk Red should have Forged in the Dark. Maybe, kind of not. Because in Cyberpunk Red, we played a rock band. So I don't know. Maybe that doesn't make sense. Because maybe Cyberpunk isn't always about the heist. Shadowrun, it's in the name. Run. You're doing a run. wouldn't it make sense to have it like a mechanic like Forged in the Dark that facilitated that type of thing? And I would say yes. It might even be awesome for an espionage game because maybe it can incorporate the flashback mechanic and how you're achieving things without having to plan and then have it go sideways. The topic is, as Sean, the most embarrassing questions you could think of. Something like that. You know, when Delta Green clicks, when you begin to wonder if the FBI has a file on Caleb Stokes, and if not, they probably should. Right. Laramie, Sean, the horror things you like at Delta Green are the best horror movies. Gore is bland for me. Seen too much in real life, and jump scares don't do it. But give me The Thing and Alien. Yes. Thank you very much. And that's exactly my take. Alien, The Thing, like WTF is going on here, right? More is also the safe word. Yeah. That Vason video was great. Thank you. I shared that numerous times to get folks interested in playing. Well, that's fantastic. That's good to know. I appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Mr. White. Victor White, Spinal Tap via Fiasco would be awesome. That would be awesome. Spinal Tap RPG only uses D11s. Right. Yes. I would have to bust out one single DCC die for that system. The B movie. Dwayne runs a Reservoir Dogs one shot I need to play. Is that right? Oh, I must play that. Now I want to create a random encounter table for running through the confusing maze of rock area backroom hallways. Yes. Throwing in some weird restaurant hotel where they end up in the hotel. Like, what in the hell? That's connected. Yes, I would. Yes, running off books, man. Sign me up. Sean, who is your favorite and least favorite role-playing game designers and why? Ooh, that's a tough one. Because design, like, I'm not, some people are like, we can't critique people's design unless you designed a game, dude. Which to some point I agree, but also at the same time I've played their designs and it's like, yikes. Favorite role-playing game designers? Oh man. Oh, that is a tough one. That's a tough one. God, I don't know. I think the designers that I like aren't because of their design, right? Like, I don't think I would go, you know what? I'm not a fan of Blades in the Dark, but John Harper is one of my favorite designers. Well, how do you even equate that then, Sean? Because they're moving the needle. Like, they're doing something different. That would be like, the Bakers, right? The Bakers and doing Powered by the Apocalypse. Like many Powered by the Apocalypse, you might not like Powered by the Apocalypse games. You may not like Apocalypse World, but at least it exists. Like, how freaking boring if we were all still just playing. Never mind. So I think it's the designers that are like, how can I come up with a game like Ben Robbins? I don't play Microscope. I've had Kingdom. I own Kingdom. I've never played it. I know of Microscope. And not everybody in the chat's going to be like, what are you talking about? Like, Ben Robbins, go check him out. But at least he's coming up with something different. It may not be my cup of tea. So I think some of those designers that are willing to go, you know what? I'm going to put this game out there and it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to try to facilitate this X or Y, these levers that haven't been explored before. Because you know what? You can't do everything with D&D. Shipman Ran Blades. Thanks, Harrigan, for the reminder. What's your most embarrassing RPG story? Hey, Willow, good to see you. Most embarrassing RPG story. Oof, that's a tough one. I'm trying to think of like, did I ever have my pants fall off when I was running a game? um, I don't know. Embarrassing. Jeez, I don't know, Willow. Well, I'll tell you about it. I was at your table one time. I think sometimes it's probably the game where I think I know what I'm doing and then I get to the table and I'm just like a mess. I've done that a little bit with Deathmatch Island with the Thursday night group. It's not most embarrassing, but it's like, dude, like what kind of game are we playing here, Sean? You don't even know what you're doing? You've said you've run this twice? Well, WTF, man? Um, I don't know if that's very embarrassing. I know the Deathmatch Island game that I ran at GameholeCon the first time was rough. And the second one went much smoother. I don't know if it was embarrassing, but I think I got like the core mechanic wrong. It was pretty bad. Um, some of the guys will say, "Oh, it was great. It was a great game, Sean." I'm like, thanks. It's a pull from a previous Saturday, but why is Sean the ultimate cozy game hater? Oh God. Hey, bring on Farmville. Whatever. Hey, I want to run that old people game, right? Shady Pines, whatever, Green Acres. Call me cozy game hater. Scum and Villainy is a different game that uses the Forge in the Dark system. Got it. Good to know. But you are our loudmouth YouTuber, Sean. Thanks, Tad. Good to see you. Yeah, right. Kyle Simmons is who created Operators. Is it Simmons or Simons? And I think Kyle is Fraser's brother, right? Victor? Are you attending Forge Midwest on April 24th, 25th, and 26th? I got to get there. Or am I a total loser? Yeah, I earned that. I earned that. I deserve that. Yeah, I need to get there. I need to get there. Or can't it be both? Yeah. Can you go there and still be a loser, right? 2D20 hate coming? Incoming? I'd like to play more 2D20. I'm still like a Star Trek guy, and I think that the 2D20 system can facilitate it pretty well. Like, Jeff's like, he's got this book behind me. One of the few of its kind. I don't even know if there may be one other copy that exists that this is. And my buddy Jeff put this together. Like, you would never tell. Like, you could put this on in a bookstore. You would never know some guy in his basement just compiled this thing. But on the front, it says GURPS 4th edition adaptation. And I'm like, damn, how can Jeff, the biggest Trekkie nerd I know, think that GURPS 4th edition is the way to play Star Trek? And to me, that is so... It's 3.0, man. It could do anything, It's like GURPS 4th edition, man. You can make any tech level. You can play any game you want. You just have to allocate the right tech level and the amount of points. Bing, bam, boom. And to which I say to GURPS fans, sure. But it's like the old adage where it's like, if it could do everything, it may not be able to do anything really good, right? It could do lots, okay, but can it do one thing really, really well? And I think the 2D20 system's got a lot of potential. Now, I haven't played Unicorn Games' version, which I owned for a while, but I do think like 2D20's might have some stuff there that makes it Star Trekky. But I'm also skeptical because it's 2D20 and it's a Modifius game and they apply to everything. I can say the same thing about YZ, right? But Sean, you're a Free League fan, huh? YZ. And I would say, yes, guilty as charged, right? because Harper has created a ton of very influential designs. Yes. Yes. For sure. I give credit where credit is due, whether I like their games or not, or their systems or not. Like the designers that I think are really good doesn't mean that I'm like, my opinion of good is the I'm going to come up with something different. I'm going to put it out there and I'm going to have see what happens. Hate the design, not the designer. For sure. For sure. Gabe, my most embarrassing RPG story. I kept describing octagonal shapes in my D&D dungeon. My players' faces were puzzled. After too long, one player pointed out, but these are hexagons. So who was wrong? Were you wrong, Gabe? Kept describing octagonal shapes. Were they hexagons? So did they have 6 sides or 8 sides, Gabe? That's what we want to know. Oh, that is your embarrassing moment. So you were, okay, that makes sense. So you were describing hexes as octagons. Got it. It's hilarious. That's funny. Kev, good to see you. The most embarrassing thing is, and tell me your embarrassing moments. I would be more than interested to turn this back around on you guys. What's your most embarrassing RPG moment? Thanks, Willow, for putting that out there. I think it was Willow. Kev says the most embarrassing thing is honestly when nobody shows up. Wah, wah. Salt from the wings. Yep. Now we got analytic dice in the house. Victor, my mistake. Simons, just checked the book on my shelves. Well, I had to. Well, actually, Victor, it's Simons, I believe. I got to have one actually per stream. Got up late, gamed until midnight. Hey. There you go. That's for that. Yeah, everyone knows you can play Star Wars with riffs. Oh, man. Unicorn Games Vulcan source book was wonderful. Got the FASA version. So do I. I got it up there, too. Right behind me. Right here in this corner. Haven't seen it in years. Or read it. Palladium Star Trek? My brain just melted. Salthar, 2D20 can be your false friend. Each game setting is highly tailored mechanics implemented differently. Yes, it is. And it's very much so with YZE, but still, I mean, it's how it's implemented, I guess. What system would you use to run Star Trek? I would first start with 2D20, but I don't know if that's the way. I'd have to look at all of them. Oh, you were wrong. Got it, Gabe. Yeah. Dude, there's 8 sides. No, there's 6. Like, how do you turn them? Like, they align. No, they don't. Too funny. Twas Zombie at Zero Dark 30. What's up, Hoos? What's up, sleepy face? I want to play fastest Star Trek. You should play for Analytic Dice. Dude, you get... I should just run your program. I should be your program manager. All right, Analytic Dice. This is what I want to see. Boom, 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 boom. Whatever, Sean. But it'd be cool to, like, compare and contrast, like, fastest Star Trek, Unicorn Games, Prime Directive, I'd say, but that's just GURPS. And then 2D20. Like, some of these IPs that move around, like, how does it feel? Like, Gabe, you're a big D6 WEG guy, right? And I think you've played one of my Star Wars games, and you'd be like, I don't like that Star Wars game, that version, the Edge Studios game, but how does it? And that's another thing, too. Can we say, I don't like that game, but I see what they're trying to do and try to achieve. They're trying to get that Star Wars feel, which I don't think sometimes you can get in WEG because, it's WEG, but there's other better things that come with it. Least favorite licensed game. Least favorite licensed game. Least favorite licensed game. Oh man. It pins me down to license. I've never played Warhammer. Licensed game. So I got Star Wars, Alien, Blade Runner. Licensed. I'm like going through my licenses. The One Ring, right? Tolkien. Star Trek. Dude, Willow's got some killer questions. Licensed game, huh? Least favorite? Oh man, I don't know. I don't know, Willow. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that intelligently. The first game that came to mind was Mashed, but it wasn't licensed. I just never played it. See you, Jim. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. You are right. I don't like Genesis Star Wars, but I believe I ran it well. I interpreted dice rolls more wildly than raw. Very cool. I usually don't like licensed product. They spend the money on the license instead of the product. Maybe Lord of the Rings. Maybe only. I had a fun. I liked the game and I played with Phil, but it's like sometimes I'm like, do I want to play Lord of the Rings? So it's not the game necessarily. Like the same reason some people don't like IP games. Digital Hobbit is a big one. He doesn't want to play IP games, right? For whatever, for insert reasons. And to me, I'm like, well, I could play Star Trek, Star Wars, but Lord of the Rings is, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know enough about I haven't read like the Silmarillion. Like, dude, it's all this background. So I don't know. Star Wars, say it. No, I don't think it's a bad game. I think if you got some people that can play it well, it's not a bad game. I will accept any adapted IP that you think is a bad fit. I appreciate the flexibility. Bad IP, dude. I don't even know. If I made one up, it wouldn't be right. Like I haven't played John Carter of Mars. Oh, John Carter of Mars is a bad IP game. I don't know, because I've never played it. I mean, there's tons I don't have an interest in playing. Like there's news this week. They're doing a Wolfenstein game, 2D20. It's in the news. I was going to bring it up. Modifius has got the license to do Wolfenstein. And I played the snot out of that game at LAN parties. Based on the Q3 engine, baby. But I don't know. Like, Talisman. Probably many of the Everyday Heroes games. Like, I don't know. Uno reverse. Willow, what's yours? Yeah, I don't know. Willow's played so many. She's probably got definitely a better grasp of, and definitely an opinion. Runeslinger Prime Directive was SFB more than Trek. Starfleet Battles, it was? Oh, okay. And had many systems, not just the later GURPS versions. STA is my preferred Trek, but Prime Directive when he was cool. Okay, all right. Thanks, Anthony. Wayne, an embarrassing moment. Signed up to run West End Star Wars at a con in 1990. Drove to a con and left everything at home. Oh. Picked up the wrong backpack. Did not discover until sitting at the table. Wowee. That's tough. That's rough. I would be like, oh, panic sets in. Root is a licensed game that really captures the feel of the source material. I'll take your word for it. Like Star Wars is my favorite licensed game. Lord of the Rings is pretty gated lore-wise and thus adventure-wise. Opportunities for fiction are diminished. Yeah. Yeah. I think, and to Gabe's point, I think that's the problem I have with Lord of the Rings as a IP and RPGs. In Star Wars, somebody would say the exact same things, but for me, Star Wars is so big. Like the land is so large. And somebody would say, but Sean, Middle Earth is too. But the cool things about Middle Earth have already, like, are there in the movies or the books? Well, not the third age, not the second age. Like, true, fair. That would be my hang up. Most embarrassing, critiquing a third-party DCC scenario pretty hard after playing it at a con. The guy who ran it and then finding out he was the author. Way to go, buddy. You want to play Lord of the Rings or play in Middle-earth? Well, true. Yes. That's a good point. Love John Carter Amar's 2D20 excellence. Yeah, if you listen to Analytic Dice, I know Kev's got a sweet spot for that. That's fine. I'm biased, but the Old Gods TTRPG was done so well, but generally I'll buy IP games just for the lore if it's an IP I'm a fan of. Wolfenstein, mein Leben. Thanks, Test Trekkie. Appreciate the donation. And agree, Gabe. Is why VSD is cool or Against the Dark Master. Related but different. Yeah. Says Harrigan. Strong words, Harrigan. Least favorite licensed product, any product shoehorn into 5e. Like, why the hell is Hellboy a 5e game? Yeah, well, there's a lot of those, right? But I can't, I haven't played Hellboy. Could I say it's a crappy license game? I guess I could say it, but I don't know if if I could back it up. Gabe, yeah, when I run Star Wars, it's set right after the first movie and PCs are rebel agents out on operations. Dude, for sure. Star Wars is so vast. And the thing is it's got so many planets and lore that the heroes haven't gone to but are pretty cool. You can buy source books for that stuff. They're doing their own thing. If you're going to have a rebellion in the galaxy, it's okay if it's not Skywalker based. It's probably better, honestly, and more interesting. My most disappointing licensed game, still fairly good, was Zorro. Oh, interesting. I saw Zorro in the theater. Dude, I was like, this guy's awesome. I don't think I've seen it since. Black and white, I think it was, right? What Against the Dark Master got a mention. I love Against the Dark Master so much, a storytelling potential plus critical hit charts. You see it all come out of people. Like, what? Oh, ooh. Batman RPG was pretty bad. Okay. Marvel, maybe? Maybe Marvel? Not current Marvel. Hey, Matt Forbeck, man. I don't know. Throw in some superhero RPG with the Marvel or DC? I don't know. I haven't played either. There's a difference between constructive criticism and slamming something. I feel you, Orcus. Yeah. Planet of the Apes RPG uses a modified WEG D6 system. Yes, it does. And did they come out with the D6 system? Is that out now? Because they had a Kickstarter and a crowdfunder, and I was like, that might be interesting. And they're like, well, I'm never going to use it. Zorro is the best Batman. Indeed. I don't agree. It's Laramie getting in between conversations. Star Wars, between the first two movies, is the best. It was kind of a default in WEG's first game. Yeah. Well, it's because of the era. They didn't have the prequels when WEG came out. Aaron, are we talking about the Godzilla license Kickstarter that just launched? I love the IP and it does look interesting, but I'm still worried I'll be spending that much for a branded paperweight. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. Thanks everybody for participating and throwing some good questions out there. I appreciate it. Hope you learned a little bit more about me. Could have probably had everybody answer the same questions, by the way. Just by the way. Maybe I'll take them all for this week. Next week, have you answer them. And some of you did, so thank you for doing that. It didn't have to be all me. We could whip through some of the things that I had teed up this week quick. So just things ones that might be of interest to those of you. First one, State of the Rascal, March 2026. Sounds like things are a little tough over at rascal.news. Full disclosure, I do pay premium for Rascal. So they have 2,500 paying subscribers overall the last 6 months. We're up and down. We were trending downwards regarding paid members, but our $1 sale in December was extremely popular. So they're talking about some of the state of affairs with them, trimming back a little bit. They're also looking to collaborate with maybe some other one. Where is it? One of the big things that's happening in the background is that they've been talking to other media sites about how to share resources and costs amongst each other. So they're excited about this, and not just a question of finances. Every independent media outlet currently has to figure stuff out on their own and learn from their own mistakes. But what if we could just learn from other people's mistakes? A lot of people are working quietly to make this happen, and there's a real chance it could make a huge difference in what resources we have available. Like a podcast, like we're so niche, and then you're like, Rascal's not a D&D site. So there you go. And so they're trying to adapt. Asmodee's era begins. Serious Dice secures the Lord of the Rings license. And that's license with a C, folks. Okay? The landscape of Middle-earth tabletop gaming has officially entered its Asmodee era. Today, Brooklyn-based Serious Dice announced a major partnership with Middle-earth Enterprises and Asmodee to produce a new line of officially licensed The Lord of the Rings tabletop accessories. So the deal marks one of the first significant external licenses granted since Asmodee was appointed exclusive category manager for Embracer Group's Tolkien properties late last year. So how does this affect Free League? I still don't even know. But there's two parts of the Tolkien space. There's like Middle Earth, and then there's like Tolkien. So you can have one person have the rights to one thing but not the other. It's like weird. So just something to keep on the horizon. Next one, D&D. It is now official 5.5, folks. Yeah, if you didn't get the update, Ian World. Also, full disclosure, I throw Ian World a monthly tithe. So setting a debate that has lasted over 2 years, the current edition of D&D, which has been known by various names up until now, has finally received an official designation. D&D 5.5. Yep, that's right. That's right. Now you're going to love this, right? The 5.5 terminology echoes the edition names used in the early 2000s. Shocker. You guys know this. But what you will find interesting is this. Despite including the E for edition, Wizards of the Coast continues to maintain that 5.5E is not a new edition. ICE is back with not a new edition and merely a rules update or version. Whether edition and version are synonymous or not will leave people to debate. It's the Kleenex of RPGs, which I'm sure they're going to love. So the logo at the top of the page is our own mock-up to represent the news. It is not an official rebranding, just so you know. This is Ian World's thing. Although they should probably remove the R on there, maybe. I don't know. Maybe, kind of. I guess you could. I don't know the legal stance on that. But there you go, folks. 5.5. I was like, okay, 5.5, right? 5.5E. But Wizards is like, no. Like, yes, it's E, but it doesn't stand for edition. Dude. They just want it to be D&D so bad. They just want it to be D&D. Did I put the link in the... I probably did not put the link in the chat. There we go. Next up, Wolfenstein. Come on. Why is something's like taking up my resources here? Get psyched. Bethesda. Modiphius has announced plans to develop the Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein. What is it? Stein? If it's German, it's Stein. Video game. IP into tabletop role-playing game. Game will utilize Modiphius' 2D20 system with a crowdfunding campaign planned for fall of 26. For a press release, the game will specifically focus on Wolfenstein: The New Order and Wolfenstein: The New Colossus. Both things I have not played. Nazis defeat aliens in World War II and then use advanced technology to conquer much of the world. So there you go. There's some IP action. Boom, bam, boom, bam, boom, bam, boom. Bundles. Any Jane Austen fans? I know a lot of you are. I could tell. Good society. Attend to this timely resurrection of our January 2024 Good Society bundle featuring Good Society, the Jane Austen-inspired tabletop role-playing game from Story Brewers Role-Playing. It's a collaborative Regency RPG that captures the heart and the continents of Jane Austen's novels, as well as shows like Bridgerton, Downton Abbey, and Upstairs, Downstairs. There you go. There's also Miss of Akuma. So you can check out what's going on over there by Storm Bunny Studios. This is for 5th edition. So I had for bundles, print news. Monster Truckers Long Haul into the Worstlands, not the Wastelands. That's a different game. Worstlands by Tablecat Games by the Tricube Tales system. PCs are classic movie monsters who drive big rig and escort vehicles. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that does sound cool. I'm reading that. Long ago, humans and monsters went to war. The humans won. Monsters folk are forced to do the jobs that are too dangerous for humans to do, like driving trucks in the worst lands. Strange, weird, and dangerous creatures like gremlins and evil mutated turkeys roam the broken land, and the truckers cross paths with them while delivering freight. There you go. Avalon Rising. Not to be mistaken for Streets of Avalon. This one's by Black Site Studios. 2DX uses a trait dice and skill dice where lower rolls represent greater success. The PCs are part of a humanity that ages ago sealed itself inside Avalon 01, a vast megastructure of concrete, steel, and neon. Within its infinite corridors and hidden depths, survival depends on navigating a fractured society, each part clinging to life in its own way. A mysterious power sustains Avalon, but it also corrupts. Interesting. Next one, Mystery of Blythe, The Mystery at Blythe, which is for D&D 5.5 E. 5.5. 5.5. That's going to be the universal symbol now, moving forward. Odyssey of the Giant by Helltongue Storytelling for Cyborg. Solo Unique. A solo PC in the Odyssey of the Giant is a caretaker experiencing hope, silence, and the weight of companionship. And then the other one is, oh my God, Pills Full of Gods? Rehumanized? Why did they do this to me? Covers rules and details for a new drug on the streets of Psy, which is for Cyborg. Other one, API Worldwide Locks. Third Eye Games. System is Apocalypse Prevention, 2nd edition. Third Eye Games, that's like Eloy Lasanta's place, I believe, right? Complete guide to the lochs and other newly introduced aquatic races. Details on loch culture, including their struggle to adapt to Earth and the research into the half-loch phenomenon. There you go. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all. Sean going into Stein. Yeah, Frankenstein. Wolfenstein. Steen. I played that too. Wayne and my stiff British soldier got the girl. All right. Stiff upper lip, you bastards. All right. That's all I got. I'll let you guys get on with your day. I got to get my ears lowered today. Prep for tomorrow. Season premiere for Go Bag Season 2, where we lose half our audience. Right, Harrigan? Whatever. Thank you to everybody over here. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. Oh, we're going to be on hiatus. It won't drop for a while. Don't worry about it. We're going to record it, and then it's going to be like a TV show. We're going to record the entire season and then launch it. Still season 1 of Analytic Dice. Word up, Kevin. Keep on keeping on. Everybody, thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. Check out this video over here if you will be so inclined. Otherwise, just, I don't know, take care of, infinite words of Jerry Springer. Take care of yourselves and each other. But otherwise, do some gaming. Take some time out. Dude, the world is dude, I don't need to tell you what the world is outside of the stream. I don't know. I don't know what to say, but have a good weekend, and don't forget to set your clocks forward if you have to honor daylight savings time or the end of it or the beginning of it. I don't even know. But enjoy yourselves, do some gaming, and have some fun, and just, yeah. That's all I got. See you on the next one, 8 a.m. Central Time, right here, Saturdays. Thanks, guys. See ya.